A terrifying experience, a man shooting into a car loaded with people driving down the highway in broad daylight. The victims thought they would never catch this guy, but they were wrong. That person is now in jail. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley at the CJC right now working this one out, and there were some injuries apparently in this shooting, Cuthbert.
There were, Steve. According to police, one of the passengers inside of the car was actually hit by one of the bullets. And get this, there was a 6-month-old baby sitting right next to that victim. Thankfully, that young child is okay, and that victim is expected to fully recover. Here's what we know so far. Police have arrested 19-year-old Jaquan Mason. They are telling me this morning that the victims were driving down Briley Parkway right around the Ashland City exit when Mason allegedly pulled up, looked inside of the car, and that's when he pulled out a pistol and then started shooting as many as 5 times at the car. As I said, one of those victims hit that victim. Now, once that happened, Mason then fled from the scene, and the victims took that passenger to the hospital where he was checked out. They thought they'd never see him again, but according to police, the victims tracked down the accused gunman using his Instagram profile picture. You can see in the video we have of his profile that there are several pictures of Mason on there. Police tell me the victims recognized his face, sent several of those pictures to police, and that's how they were able to positively identify him as the shooter. But there is a twist to this story. The mom is claiming police have the wrong guy in custody. She says Mason was actually graduating from high school, as you see in these pictures, from the academy at Old Cockrell at the time, right around the time of that shooting. The graduation ceremony, she says, was at 2 o'clock. Police are telling me the shooting happened at 3 o'clock. So right now we've reached out to both Metro Nashville Police as well as Metro Nashville Public Schools to see if they have any comment about this story and can confirm this woman's story. We have not heard back yet, but of course we are following all of the latest developments as they come in. Right now, Mason is still here in jail this morning on a $255,000 bond. Reporting live at the Criminal Justice Center this morning, I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Cuthbert, thank you. And this morning, the NTSB is going to be back out here at the crash site in Kentucky, removing more of the wreckage from that fatal plane crash yesterday. They held a press conference and they called the 7-year-old who survived remarkable.
I was literally just struck by how calm that she was able to, and the ability for her to give us information.
Lieutenant Brent White was one of the first people to talk to Sailor Getzler. She is the lone survivor of the crash that killed her mom, dad, sister, and cousin. Sailor managed to crawl out of the wreckage. She lit a stick on fire from the flames from the wreckage, walked a mile through the woods in 25-degree weather to a nearby home.
Do you think she realized the magnitude of what had happened?
I think so, because she indicated to us that she believed that her family was deceased, but that she hoped that they were just sleeping.
Investigators say they're working with Sailor. They say she could have vital clues to find out what went wrong with the plane. And a fund has been set up to help 7-year-old Sailor with all the support that she's going to need in the years to come. And we put a link to that fund on our website, newschannel5.com. Steve.
Remarkable story. Happening this morning, the search is on for suspects accused of beating up a pizza delivery guy and robbing him. Happened last night on North 6th Street. We'll Google map it, and there you see where it happened, there in East Nashville. The driver told police he walked up to the door, didn't realize this was apparently a vacant home that these guys were hiding out in. He was pushed inside at gunpoint. 3 guys, he says, kicked him, stole his wallet, and ran away. Luckily, he was not seriously hurt. Officers did tell us, though, that they had a similar delivery driver robbery just down the street only a few hours earlier, probably connected. Anyone with information should contact police this morning. All right, turn around, don't drown. You've heard that saying before when it comes to high water. Well, listen to this one. A dramatic water rescue caught on camera, and one of the people rescued is now facing charges. Happened on Elam Mill Road in Murfreesboro. Just before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, officials captured this daring rescue on a cell phone camera. 5 EMS workers paddled in the special raft through the whitewater there to that red pickup truck. One of the victims was still stranded inside. A second person somehow made it across that slab bridge and made it to safety. Rain from the past several days caused the Stones River to wash over the roadway. The driver thought he could pass, but
Of any question of water on the roadway, if it's moving or still water, don't try to cross it. Water weighs 62 pounds per cubic feet, and that just keeps pushing and pushing. And so 6 inches will push your truck off the water.
That driver, meantime, is charged with reckless endangerment for putting the emergency workers and his passenger at risk. A Tennessee man accused of killing someone with a crossbow is now in Alabama in jail. Troy Wright out of Clarksville charged with murder. Witnesses say the victim was a veteran dealing with emotional issues. He reportedly got into an argument with his family before shooting his victim in the neck.
Well, a prized possession has found its way back home to the Hermitage, and now it's on display for all to see. It's called a presentation box, and it was given for Andrew Jackson's bravery in the Battle of New Orleans. He gave it to one of his own generals later, and it has been in that family's possession until recently. It's now part of a new exhibit called Andrew Jackson, Born for Storm. That opens this coming Thursday, January 8th.
And starting this year, there could be more of a wait when it comes to public notification of divorce filings. The Tennessee Bar Association pushing for legislation to delay the notice for 10 days or until an order of protection can be served. It's made for spouses who could be leaving some dangerous marital situations. Also happening today, the Brentwood Planning Commission will be meeting to vote about a residential ordinance. They're wanting to remove residential properties from a zoning plan for the town center district. If passed, that large Tapestry complex, as it's called, could be the first and last of its kind. Back in 2004, they passed an ordinance to help spur redevelopment in the commercial area of Brentwood. Officials say the complex just is not what they thought it was going to be. If they approve the new measure, residents will be able to give their own feedback at a meeting on the 13th.
And last night was pretty cold with temperatures dipping into the low 30s. And for those who don't have a warm place to go, WGNS Radio is reporting the Cold Nights Shelter for Men will open if the temperature drops below 30. It's located at the First Baptist Church in Murfreesboro. The shelter is an emergency drop-in shelter for men. No one will be allowed in after 9:30 p.m. unless they're brought to the shelter by police officers.